What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. Channel Just the Vibes, man. Like, if you don't know the type of content I do the content where I was in prison for 10 years. For those who don't know me, man. My name JR. I'm from Jamaica, and I did 10 years in the Georgia Department of Corrections. Now, I be doing prison stories, like prison content, stuff that I've been a part of, things that I've seen happen around me. It's like a world inside of a world. So during my time, I seen a lot. I did a lot. So right now, I'm just coming back sharing some of these stories, man. Hoping I could get to some of the youths, some of the sisters too, about preventing to go to prison. Share my stories, because if I hadn't seen somebody sharing their stories about the system, I probably wouldn't have ended up in there. So I'm just here to share some of these stories, man. Like I said, y'all can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Now this story now was how war popped off when I was at Smith between the Bloods and the white boys and some Hispanics, because it popped off in multiple dorms with some Hispanics too. So in my dorm though, it was just the white boys and the Bloods. Now this day, now I never forget, we get up, it's regular schedule. Everything pretty much routine in the system. So while they doing, it's like 7 o'clock, they doing block movement. Everybody going out to their respective classes. Some people going to GD, some people going to all like program classes. They got motivation for change and all that type of stuff. So I'm chilling. I just got up and I was drinking some coffee down by the window in the front of the dorm, like this cell house. This Smith State Prison, so this was like a 96-man dorm. So I'm down there, I pour up a cup of coffee or whatever. I'm chilling, I'm looking out the window, everybody moving around. Sometimes you get to see some of your homeboys or whatever. They'll pass by, they hail you up or whatever. So we sitting there, they on their block movement. It's about 20 minutes later. I see officers in black, the CERT team, running up to the administration up there at the top where the warden office, the nurses be, medical and all that type of stuff, where they do GD classes, the education building right there too, GD classes. So we see officers running from everywhere, officers running out the dorm, going up there. So we like, what's going on? Everybody looking out the window, people calling people, what, look here, something going on up on the flat top. That's what they call up there, the flat top. So I'm looking, we're seeing all the commotion, things die down or whatever, so they stop all the movements. Everything, nobody can't be on the walk, nothing like that. There's no movement going on. So I thought they was gonna lock the dorm down. So anyways, after that, when some of the guys came back from block movement from that first session, they come back, they telling us about what happened. Now what happened was, you had this Ghostface white dude. Something that happened and then transpired in G2 about a phone or whatever, a phone coming up missing or something like that, in form of that. And it was said that somebody paid this white dude, Ghostface, to $150 this blood dude. I was like, what? I was like, he a brave white boy, man, because if you know what I know, man, it wasn't gonna sit well with the Bloods. Wasn't gonna sit well with them. So I'm wondering what finna happen. So everybody talking about it, people talking about it. One of my homeboys, he came up there. He was a part of the Blood gang, whatever, but he was my homeboy. He was pretty cool, so we always used to chop it up and talk about stuff. So I'm in the room, I hear boom, 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 boom. I'm like, who knocking like that? So he like, Jamaica. Somebody say, yo, wagwan. I say, can I come in, bro? Come in. He come in, he like, man, I think this shit finna pop. I'm like, what you mean? I'm like, bro, I think it finna pop, bro, because, the homies ain't gonna allow it to go like that. I'm like, what you mean, bro? It was like a one-on-one issue. He like, nah. It's from his understanding, like I was saying earlier, somebody had done put some money on the blood dude. And now from that angle, people were speculating that it came from the Hispanics or this, but I don't think people really knew the real fact behind it. So he telling me like, man, they finna pop. But in my dorm, you had like 4 white dudes in my dorm, 4 white dudes. So while we in the room talking, we hear the front door open. They say 12 on the floor. Now whenever the police come on the floor, they'll say 12 on the floor. They might say 12 on the floor, shower side or cooler side. Now the side where the showers be on and the other side where the ice school at. That's what they be saying to let you know that if you in the room, you know you're doing what you're doing and you don't want the police to see. That lets you know where they at. They might say 12 bottom range cooler side, top range cooler side, and you will know their location. So we go outside, we go out there on the rail. When we go out on the rail, we see them move a white dude in. Now this white dude, I ain't know him like that, but I just seen him on the compound. His name was Dallas. I hear people call him Dallas. You hear people whenever you might be on the yard or somebody talking to their homeboy, you coming back from chow or something, you might hear people talking and calling people name. You might not know them like that, but you done heard their name and you put the name to the face. So I knew this was Dallas. Now Dallas was a big white dude, man. Dallas was about 6'4", man, about 230. You know what I'm saying? One of them probably country white boys. He wasn't no fat, but he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But you could tell that big dude. So I was like, damn. I'm telling my homeboy, I'm like, damn, they just moved another white boy in here. And he was Ghostface. Let's not forget that. He was Ghostface. Now, Ghostface is somewhat of a Caucasian gang in the prison system. I don't know if it's in other states, but I know it's in Georgia. And they got good numbers. Most of them, they got good numbers or whatever. They was known for doing little stuff, but I'll tell you about this. So he like, man, we don't care about that. He like, bro, I really ain't trying to get him to pop because, you know, I got my parole date coming up. I was like, damn, bro, you about to go home and this shit about to pop. I'm like, what you gonna do? He's like, man, you know I gotta be out there. I gotta be out there. I don't want these niggas talking about me, whatever. I'm like, bro, to be honest, bro, you about to go home. That's what you need to be thinking about. And he was like, man, you know, it's the gang, man. It's the gang. I was like, man, this dude here, man. That's why I never joined no gang when I went in the system. I ain't a part of that, man. If I didn't create a problem, man, I'm not jumping out there, man. Especially I'm about to go home. I already done made one mistake by coming in here. I ain't gonna make another mistake. No deal. No deal, Jack. So, boom. He telling me, so we get ready to go to chow. We go to chow. While we go to chow now, it was a Monday, man. They just had some mass. I think it was like Spanish rice or something. You probably don't want to see what that looked like. But anyways, we go out there to chow and stuff. When we coming back, we pass in F building because on this side you had the chow hall up here, and if you coming back, it'd be on the right side, but you walking in somewhat of like a semicircle, and you at F building. Now while we coming back, people stopping, talking to people at the window, or they could bend down and talk through the vent. At the bottom of the glass, each dorm, you have vents that they, you know, got to be some form of circulation going on in the dorms. So people be talking to their homeboys or whatever. So you could hear while we walking back, I could hear dudes talking about this. Man, some of the Bloods, they walking by, they throwing up the gang sign, they throwing up the B's, they throwing up their sets or whatever. So we walk past F2, we get to F1. I see BK in the window. Now BK was a Jamaican. Well, he wasn't born in Jamaica, but he got Jamaican parents and he grew up around Jamaicans. Y'all know it's a lot of Jamaicans in Brooklyn, man. So he called me. Now BK was Blood. And the set, well, like for those who don't understand, like the gang, how the gang is set up, they'll say sets, but y'all don't know. It's just a different, like a sub up under the gang, like a different branch of the gang. Let's put it like that. So he was a part of that set. The dude who had got $150 in his face with the razor. Yeah, that's what he hadn't got hit with, man. White dude didn't hit him with the razor, dead across his face. Out here in Jamaica, we call it a telephone cut. Yeah, that's what we call it in Jamaica. But you know, in America, they call it the $150. That's what he done got, $150. So BK was like, yard man. So I say, yo, what go on? I say, yo, boy, thing get rough for me. Now I knew why BK said this, because BK was over that set on that prison compound. So he was going to be willing to have to mash the gas, to green light anything that was going to happen. So you could see it on his face, man. You could tell that he he had the stress on him. He wasn't holding it up good, man. He wasn't holding it at all. So he like, man, boy, man, I forgot, mash the gas on them, you know, man, I forgot, mash the gas. And man, I say, yo, don't know, y'all for do it, you know. That's why I ain't became no gang member. I ain't with none of that. Cause I ain't did it, so I ain't gonna. So he like, yeah, he about to mash the gas. I'm like, man, do what you do. So he was like, man, just when you go in, he started laughing at him. I said, yo, you go in, you know, just make up your coffee and make sure you go all a beer and come here, lock down the place. So in my talk, he saying he finna lock the place down. He finna lock the prison down. Mind you, it's people from different in this set in different dorms. Cause this was like a major set or a major branch of this gang. And they was from New York. I think they was from New York to be exact. I ain't gonna say the specific gang, but if you know, you know. So telling me for the lock it down or whatever. So I say, yo, cool man, big up yourself, just guidance. When I say guidance, that means safety. Just, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you be safe. So we walk back to the dorm. We go back to the dorm or whatever. Cause they didn't call lunch, like they called it before count. Usually they call it after count. But we was like the first dorm, so they counted 12. So we go back to the dorm, it's like 11:45. We go back to the dorm. So I'm like, man, after count, I'm finna go lay down. But one thing I did see when I went back in the dorm now, the white dudes, they was looking like, you could tell they knew something was finna happen. And they knew it was a Ghostface. I think like 3 of them, I don't know, they'd bring all Dallas in the dorm, so that made it 5 of the Ghostface in the dorm. I could see they were talking to him. He had them put his stuff in the room, but he ain't unpack or nothing like that. He was just out there corresponding, chopping it up with the rest of the Ghostfaces. So you could tell that they was kind of scared because it had to be probably about 15 to 20 bloods in this dorm at this time. Yeah, about that, and it was 5 of them. But majority of the 15 to 20 blood members, majority of them was younger cats. What y'all call right now is like YNs. Yeah, there was YNs in that time. We used to call them 2000 babies. That's what we used to call them. But y'all call them YNs now. So you know how that be. They rowdy. They ready. They on the edge. I see them. I know them. I talk to them. Most of them I sit down, talk to. I try to give them a positive advice or whatever. So, you know, they like this. They lurking. Some of them just waiting for a taste of blood or waiting to prove how loyal they is to the gang. Because they want to be ranked. They want to rank up. They want their stain. That's what they call it. They want their stain. They want their rank. So they ready. Whenever there's situations, they be ready. So after they come in and count. Now the police, they was on edge too because during the count time, they sent a CERT officer. Now the CERT team is somewhat like the SWAT team on the street, what you call the SWAT team, but in the system, they had the CERT teams. Now usually they like big cats. They somewhat to be somewhat of the elite correctional officers. But sometimes you had the big old white boys, man, they'd be like 6'5", 6'6", like this, ready to slam your back in the ground. Boom! Yeah, they're ready. But at count time, they sent one of them in the dorm during count. Usually be 2 officers. One will count while one stand up at the front and watch. Everybody be lined up on the door. You got to come out your room. At official count time, you got to come out your room. Come out your room and stand on the door. They want you to stand on the door like this while they count. And so, like I said, I was just waiting for them to count. But they knew it was tension in the air. It was definitely tension in the air. So when they count, I go duck off in my room. Now I started getting my stuff together. Once I get all my little stuff together, whatever I needed to hide, I never forget I had some CIs at the time. I made it out some ganja. Yeah, I had some CIs, y'all call them Chris Browns or whatever, and some marijuana. So I stashed my stuff just in case, you know, the police rush in there or something like that, because I know something was finna happen. But like I said, man, my mind was on going to lay down. I just wanted to relax for a minute. So I'm in there. I think I fell asleep. Yeah, I fell asleep. I heard somebody out there screaming, like a female, an officer. I remember one of the officers, they were younger. Miss Brandy, that was her name. Young black girl. She had to be about 22, 23. But You could tell. I was there when she just became a cadet or whatever, but you could tell she was kind of stern or try to put on the front as trying to be tough or rough or whatever. But you know, as somewhat of a seasoned veteran in the system, you would see that. And you'd be like, okay, she trying to act tough. Like I said, I was laying down, I dozed off. I heard screaming, like screaming. So I jump up. When I jump up, I had my tool on me. I usually have my tool. You know, I'm a civilian, I'm in a hostile environment. I always keep a tool on me. As my boy Bill Feezy called it, he called it the candy bar. Shout out to Bill Feezy, y'all. But anyways, I had the tool on me. I get up, because I had it on my hand. I was laying down like this. I had it wrapped on my hand. I had a string tied to it wrapped around my hand. So I get up, I take the string off my hand, boom, put it in my waist. I open the door. When I open the door, I see the officer. She screamed, "Get off of him! Get off of him!" When I look over there to where the shower is, I see all the young YN Bloods. They going crazy. When I say they going crazy, they going crazy. I could see the Ghostfaces. They had 2 shower security. This is the thing in the system now. You have shower securities. Like when you go to the shower, you have 2 people that stand outside the shower and they walk you to the shower and walk you back to your room. Somewhere security. Be a lot of militancy going on within the gangs in there. So I see the 2 that's at the shower. I see a YN, this big YN, big YN, man. They call him YK. That was his name, YK. YK be like 18 or something. Big old dude, big old young dude, man. I see him with a broomstick. He go boom. He hit the little white dude, Pee-wee, dead across the head. Pee-wee was short, man, so you know he over him. He like this, boom. The whole broomstick broke, man, shattered right across his head. He take off running. While he running, I see the white dude, Dallas. He run out the shower. Like I said, when I seen YK hit the dude across the head, it was some more young blood dudes right there towards the shower. The other shower security, the other Ghostface white dude, Lil Mo, he took off running. He took off running towards the door. And I'm trying to process all this that's going on right now. Remind you, I just got up and it's a lot going on. So I'm trying to process all this stuff. I see all this going on. Dallas, he run out the shower. When he run out the shower, I see one of the YNs. He up the tool on him. And he was just hitting him. Boom, boom. But Dallas was trying to run. It's like 4 or 5 YNs right there. I look over to the other side, it's 2 YNs. I see one of them, they picked the trash can lid up. The trash can usually have like a metal top to it with a little hole in the middle that go down where you just drop the thing in. He took that up. He chasing the other white dude that ran towards the door. He couldn't get out because the door wasn't open. So he running around the dome. He running around the dome. By this time, Dallas, he running around, man. No homo, man. Butt, booty, naked. Out the shower, getting wet up, poured out by the YNs. The officer, she's still screaming, "Get off of him! Get off of him! Get off of him!" Shared panic. Shared panic, y'all. She got on the radio. She called 1010, 1010, 1010 and E2. Now that's the code. Now that was the code for something major happening. They called it 1010. When they called it 1010, all the officers coming from everywhere. So I'm upstairs. I got my tool in my shorts. I'm like this. I got the door cracked. I'm looking. I ain't going out there, man. Furthermore, everything going on downstairs. I'm looking. When I look, I see all the GDs. They stand up over one side. They in like somewhat like a semicircle like this against the wall. They like this. They about 20, they about 15, 20 deep in there too. They stand up like this. Tools out. Tools out. Tools out. Everybody got tools out. Standing up like this. Shoulder to shoulder with each other. They ready. They don't know. They know what's going on. But whenever it pop off in the dome like that, you find all the respective groups that ain't in the heat of the moment of the violence, what's going on, they'll gather up like a pack of wolves right together. So they gather up. I look, I see another white dude. He upstairs. His name was Zebo. Zebo was locked up since he's 14, man. But Zebo was like in his mid 40s right now. Skinny white dude, always working out. Always working out. But he was an older white dude, so he'll deal with the rest of them, but he was somewhat more respected. He had a phone. He'd be having a little, creme de la creme, the booger, the crystals crushed up. He'd be having that. He'd be moving that. And he had a good detail, so he'd be moving around the compound. He had stuff going on. So I guess the blood gang, they know that he wasn't going to get in what they had going on. And they X him out because they know he ain't with none of that's going on. He was trying to get some money. And then again, he was in business with one of the, how I could say it, hierarchy of the Bloods on the compound in a different dorm. They was doing business. So he was somewhat protected by that different set. I'm sure they gave word, called out like, yo, make sure he good. He the money. He might the paper. He might the cash. So you have to keep him close. Keep him close. He good. He look out. I see him slide back off in the room. He push his door up. Next thing I know, I look. I see 5 CERT team officers. Remember I told y'all the CERT is like the SWAT. Whole bunch of officers running over there to our dorm. The officer in the boot, she waving while all this going on. I guess she trying to get the dudes that's doing all the damage, all the action going on in the dorm. She trying to wave for them to stop because they had them caught Lil Mo. They caught him right in front of the boot. When he was running around, they ended up caught him right in front of the boot, man. And he was getting it. He was getting it, man. Real violent, man. Blood everywhere. Blood on the glass. All this type of stuff. These young blood dudes, they were thirsty for blood. They were very much thirsty for blood. They were putting in work. They were putting in work. I ain't with the violence and none of that stuff, but they was going crazy. They was going crazy. And this is stuff that you got to deal with while you're in incarceration. So they come in the dorm, the CERT team come in the dorm. Mind you, majority of the blood dudes, when they see the CERT team coming, they took off. Everybody sliding in the respective rooms. Cats like this, cats like that. When the CERT team come in, everybody on the floor. Everybody on the floor. They got the gun that shoot them, the pebbles or whatever they be shooting. And them things hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I got hit by them before. And that's another story for a different day. But yeah, they hurt. So I slide my door up. I'm still peeping through the window. I see one of them. He slammed Dallas. Dallas was up, but he was walking like this. Mind you, he been poked up. He got hit up a lot of times, man. He was getting hit with sticks too, getting kicked, all that type of stuff. While he was, like I said, no homo, but booty naked on the floor. The police, they come, they have him on the floor. He bleeding everywhere, man. They put this man in handcuffs. Now, why would you put a man in handcuffs when you see that he's injured? You can see multiple wounds, his blood coming from everywhere. The man naked, man. The man is naked. It ain't like he got clothes on where you can't see. You can see everything, and he's white. You put red on white, it's blatant, man. They put him in cuffs. Other officers, they trying to lock everybody down. They trying to lock everybody down. The girl now, the officer in the dorm, she was like this. She crying. She is crying, man. All that front that she was putting up, she crying at this time. This trauma, this traumatic to her. So imagine towards us that's seeing it every day. This is traumatic to her, man. While they do that, I see 3 of them. I hear the radios going off. It's a whole bunch of people talking on the radio. You know, they lines be open. Man, they called 1010 in another building. It popped off in another building. So when they run out the door, they left. It was two of them. While the three ran, the other two ran. The three ran towards F building way. Remember, I was telling you that that's the dorm Buchanan was in. He was in F2, but you got F1 too. So three of them run that way. When they run, I see the other two that had them put handcuffs and stuff on Dallas. They took off too. They went to D building side. So it popped off in D building too. Listen, man. They left this dude Dallas on the floor. He laid down, leaking on the floor in handcuffs. I'm in the window like, man, this is messed up, man. They came in here, put this man in handcuffs while he injured or whatever. Not saying if he wasn't in handcuffs what he'll do, but at least put him in the salad port, man. The salad port is a space in between the outside door and the inside door to the dorm. But you got a door to go in the officer's booth within that salad port space. So they could have put him in the salad port and locked both doors. Can't nobody get to him. But they got him in the dorm in handcuffs. So I run to I hear radio traffic, but I hear it coming from my back window where my room was upstairs. You could see back there to L building. It's like a little walkway. Go back there and I could look through my back window. I just slide it. It's a window probably like about this wide, but like this, yeah, about this towards like this, and got a little metal thing you could slide, but then it got a little back metal thing with a whole bunch of holes in it, so you could actually see, you could make somebody out and tell who it is. I see one of the Surtees. He running towards L building. L building was where people who had good details, like people who worked in staff dining, a lot of dudes that worked in education, like an education aide, GD aides and all that stuff. People who had like medical detail, all the hot good details, and the folks who worked in the tag plants. They was in L building. It's more like a laid back dorm. A lot of older people. You ain't gotta be worried about being on compound and being locked down at any time. L building was smooth. But this time it looked like it popped off in L building because they ran towards L building. So I'm looking towards L building, everybody talking through the doors. You hear a dude, man, yo, it just popped off over there, bro. The homies going in over there. That's all you hear. You hear some of the Bloods do. You heard them calling out calls, gang calls. I ain't gonna do them on here, but they was making out gang calls. You hear people talking about, we just ate them white boys, man. We just ate them white boys. I'm looking through the back window, says Speed. I see them dragging like two dudes out there. Now these two dudes, they were blood dudes too, as a matter of fact. But they were young though, like they had just got to the camp. And they'll put some of these younger dudes around there when they just get there. Because they might be coming from like county camps or something like that. They might put you around there. So they had them around there, they dragging them out. Boom. So they come in, they lock down. They come around, they lock all the doors. The officer came back in there, she locked all the doors. It's over with. I know we finna be on lockdown. As a matter of fact, we stayed on lockdown 2.5 months, man. Since that day, 2.5 months. 1 shower a week. You might get 10 minutes. 10 minutes, man. 1 shower a week. Now, when all this happened, the warden that came around, man, this how crazy it is. About probably in the 4 or 5 o'clock when everything had done pretty much calmed down, you know, people was talking. Officers was coming in there talking. It had popped off in F1, F2, it popped off in D2, and it popped off in G building, man. Yeah. Remember I said in F2, it was a lot of Hispanics in F2, and they rolled with the Ghostfaces. They took side with the Ghostfaces. One of them ended up on the helicopter, man. The helicopter landed. Probably like in the 3 o'clock or something, I heard the helicopter. That means they had him up there for a while in medical. One of the Hispanics, man. I ain't know him like that, but I seen him before. He was in F2. He got hurt up. He got hit up real bad, man. Real bad. And it happened in D building. So like I said, by 5 o'clock, the warden, usually by this time during the day, the warden be gone. That man be gone about his business, man. But he was on compound. He was walking around with a hierarchy blood dude, man. He had a lot of status, a lot of stain on the compound. If memory served me correct, I want to say that he was over the compound, over all the bloods, to be matter of fact. So he came in the dorm, and he had the warden, the blood dude was beside him now. Now this is an inmate, I'm telling you, man. He got the same stripes I got on. He walking around with the warden. Warden come in, he talking about the situation. He said, whole prison on lockdown. We gonna be on lockdown. He don't want this to continue. He ain't gonna let us off lockdown. He was like, man, y'all probably gonna be on lockdown about 2 weeks. Man, 2 weeks turned into 2.5 months, man. That's what he was saying, but it turned into 2.5 months. Man, this dude, man. So the blood dude, he wasn't saying nothing. That's just to show you that they can't control they can't control everything, bro. They gotta use inmates to control inmates because they can't control the whole prison system and the gang problem that it is in the Georgia Department of Corrections. They can't control it. So this was to make this was to show that everything is good as far as the blood's in towards the war that just popped off. The war that a dude that got put on a helicopter about. The same war that a dude got hit up, man, poked up while he was in the shower. This how dangerous this could get, man. This was the same war. And he was there talking or whatever, man. I laid down, man, because I didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. I ain't had nothing to do with nothing that's going on, man. I just know the door's finna be locked. People talking on the door. Warden, when you want to let us out, man? You hear, dude, man, I ain't did shit, man. Man, I'm sick of this shit, man. I been telling y'all to transfer me. Every minute we on lockdown. Every second we on lockdown. You hear somebody else, man, shut the hell up, man. You cried too much, man. This prison, deal with it. Man, you had no choice but to deal with it, man. You had no choice but to deal with it, man. This how violent, this how crazy it get behind the walls, man. Like I said, man, thanks for listening, man. If you're still tuned in, man, I'm gonna drop a part. I'm not sure if it's a part 2 because it's kind of somewhat of a back end towards this story. But I'm gonna drop another part to this story, man. Like I said, if you still tuned in, man, please subscribe to the channel, man. Let's run this channel up, man. Thank y'all again, man. Y'all stay safe, be easy, stay out of jail, stay out of prison, and just do the right thing, man. Think positive, man. One bad move will cost you your whole life. 1 second. Y'all stay up, man. Bless that. Everything I remember. Out.